Hello. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Maximize Profits with RV Auctions. I'm Kathy Latus, the Marketing Director here at National Powersport Auctions. I'm your host. Today's webinar will be presented by MPA Vice President of RV and Marine, Matt Amata. Before we get started, I'm just going to review a few items. Select full screen for the largest view to see the material being presented. There's a Q&A section along the bottom of your screen where you can submit questions as the webinar is in session. We also will be having a period at the end for questions and answers. So we are thrilled that you could join us. You'll see how important managing RV inventory is to your bottom line. Auctions are an important and reliable resource for managing pre-owned RV inventory. This session will give you an overview on how to manage inventory and how you can incorporate auctions into your RV wholesale inventory. Matt's going to cover these topics that you see here. He's going to give you a quick introduction of who MPA is and our commitment to the RV industry, how to utilize auctions, and how you can position your RVs to get better margins. He's also going to provide a few trade-in examples and go over how important the market data is to help make informed decisions. And then at the end, as I mentioned, we'll have time for questions, and we'll finish with a summary of takeaways from the information presented. Now, please give a warm welcome to our presenter, Matt Amata, the VP of RV and Marine at National Powersport Auctions.
Thanks, Kathy. Thanks for watching. As Kathy said, we're going to run through these discussion topics. A couple of them I'll give the math behind and then leave it up so you could go back and look at it in more detail. Two of the key points I think Kathy touched upon that will be a focus throughout are the condition of the units and utilizing data. Certainly in a down market with decreased sales and the higher interest rates and longer turn times, your wholesale channel is always in the spotlight, and auctions can be a very integral part of that if you're not doing them already. There's a background on myself. I've been in the specialty auction business for over 25 years. With a lot of boat and RV experience, sat on some various boards. Been with MPA going on 3 years now. As Kathy mentioned, I run the boat and RV sector for all our locations. MPA has 9 locations, and we take RV and marine product at all 9. We were established in 1990 in the power sport industry. We have over 4,000 registered dealers who buy and sell through our platforms. We are a dealer-only auction. Our facilities on the map here, you can see, cover the country. Some of them have 2 sales a month: Atlanta, Dallas, and Cincinnati. Some it's just once a month. So our auction calendar and more information can be found on our website or, of course, by reaching out to us. As it's always said, the money is in the buy at the time of the trade-in or the purchase. Certainly that's an obvious statement, but a couple of the factors that we are talking about now is condition is everything. I put in the middle there, and I've never seen a bigger spread between rough units in auction values to clean units. It's 40, 50, 60%. Difference is what you get in the lane. That margin, that spread has widened over the last 2 years roughly, and so it's really, really important to understand the condition and what that does to your auction data. Your auction partner should be able to provide reliable data based on actual transactions and condition scores, and show it to you in a multi-month format so that you could see the trend and understand what the seasonality effect is. Set the stage for the seasonality, certainly as we finish the summer season. What you're buying today or taking on trade, if your strategy is to retail for 30, 60 days, then you want to know what the wholesale value is 60 to 90 days out. So again, condition is everything, as I've been talking about. MPA prides itself on our condition reports. I think are a great tool that we have. You see an example here. A lot of auctions have a scale of 0 to 5. We go 0 to 100, rating over 40 different categories, pressure testing water systems, um, 30 to 40 pictures, examining the frame, the slides, the mechanicability of everything. So um, knowing what that score is and again how it relates, I'll show you on the next slide, is super important. So I'm going to run through 3 trade examples, and I'm just going to show the logic behind them. You can go back and look at them yourself. But one of the things is understanding the auction average. And so in this specific example, I'm showing MPA's auction average for September, November, January, and March. Those are our auction averages for 81-point condition report score, which is above average. So that's if you brought the unit to an MPA facility, you would expect to get that percentage of NADA, JD Power wholesale now. So in this specific example, on September 1st of last year, somebody brought this unit in on trade. Low book was 16.4. You allocated a $15,000 buy figure to it. Certainly very reasonable for an above average condition score. Goal, of course, to retail 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it may be. But then that time period runs out, right? So what I've allocated, the reason your buy figure goes up, a 1% a month interest payment. And so in this instance, 2 months later, every month it's going up 150%. Also, you can see what's happening is the book value is going down. And so certainly intuitively, you might think, well, at this point, I might wait till March of next year. The book values decreased over $3,000. And even though the auction average has gone up roughly 6%, your estimated auction value less your costs that you've got into it now, you see compound. So in the auction industry, we always say your first loss is your best loss. With NADA values going down, and then knowing the seasonality of auction average as it relates to condition report score. Here's one that's fair condition. Purchased, traded in March 1st. NADA was 31,250, allocated $28,000 cost, again, going 1% per month in interest costs. In this instance, you see that March 1st is kind of a peak spring selling season. May it went down, and then by July it was down even further. Same example, right? So the longer you hold it, the higher your cost, the lower your estimated net value will be at auction. Third is a drivable Thor motor coach in below average condition. This one got a little bit different. Again, below average, you can see that the auction averages are dramatically lower. This one was taken on trade in November. Hopefully 40,000 on a $60,000 book. Again, the same 1% increase. The NADA values went down, but the auction value going from November to March went up. And so in this specific example, holding it until March was roughly the same as selling it immediately. So you can go back and look at these. If there's any questions on the logic or the math, just reach out to me. I'm always happy to go through them individually. Data is again, we pride ourselves on data. We often talk about that we're a data company, and as much as we are an auction company, we work with our dealer partners ad nauseum to make sure that they have all the tools that they need to be successful. We obviously want them to be successful and be buyers and sellers for many years to come. So one of the things that we share with our dealer partners, this is a snippet. This is just 1 month. Typically, each dealer that's assigned to us has a sales manager, an outside sales manager, and an inside sales manager. Every month, usually the first week, we put this data out, which provides a 4-month, each 4 months side by side, and the 4-month average. But what you can see here is the blue column. This is just for June of this year. This is actual data from MPA's auctions. In June of this year, an RV with a 0 to 65 score was bringing roughly 40% in the lane. where an RV with an 87 condition report score, which is super clean, was brought an average of right about 104%. So you see that's a 60-point swing. And so you see how it climbs up, 10 points, even going to average, from average to above average, to exceptionally clean. That trend that I talked about has been going on for a bit of time for multiple reasons, right? Labor shortage, parts shortage, and dealers just and then of course interest and curtailments going up. Dealers don't want to sit on this inventory for as long, don't want to take on a reconditioning project. So something that's frontline ready brings way more in lane. This also is important if you're bringing something to auction. Certainly at your shop, taking a unit from average to above average can probably be done in your recon department, and you get out of it what you put into it, right? So if you've got the labor to bring something cleaner in, it will definitely do better. Again, we share this with all our registered dealers on a monthly basis. We break it out into multiple months and can provide custom reports as well. I put this chart out. It's one that we and our data team put out with our monthly reporting, but people like to talk about it a lot. And what I want to point out here is this is all the product that we sell. And this blue line here shows the average sales price. This is pre-COVID, so 18 and 19. And if you had 30 years of data, it would lay very similar on that. And you see basically a high point in the 90s, then the trough here where it's roughly a 10% seasonal swing. So that is historical data, 10%, and it lays on top of each other. What happened here was COVID, and you see the prices were artificially raised from 20, 21, 22. Last year, 23, the green was starting to come back to the historical trends. And where we are now, this is updated through August of 2024. You can see that if you look at the bottom line graphs here of 2024, we're still roughly 10% above historical averages. And so why is that important? We were talking about knowing not just seasonality, right? So not uncommon, someone would say, well, if I take something on trade now in March, it should be worth, to your point, 8 to 10% better. That's true, but JD Power is got roughly 10% more to adjust just to get back to seasonal trends. So in addition to their normal drops, there is going to be another 10% correction. So we are expecting 3 to 5% price drops on the books for the next 3 to 4 book drops. Well offsets the any increase in seasonality, especially factoring in interest and curtailments. We don't even talk about obviously the insurance, the cleaning, the marketing, all the other expenses that go along with holding a unit for that long. So a couple of questions that came in actually before I'll answer. How long should I wait until I send a camper to auction? Well, you saw in the examples that almost in every example, the longer you hold it, the worse off you're going to be. Especially knowing now that book values are going to be decreasing, and your interest and expense on the unit are going up. Certainly, everyone sets their own wholesale strategy. But, we're seeing that dealerships now, if it's not a product that they're super comfortable in, will retail for 30, 45 days and then look to take to auction. Where does the RV market data come from? It's all our own data. So it's updated, like I said, live, regularly, monthly, includes all of our sales platforms, our live and online auctions. Kathy, any other questions come in throughout?
Yeah. Hi, Matt. Yeah, we've got a couple other questions that a few people have asked. How long has NPA been in the RV business?
NPA has always been in the RV business since our founding in 1990. Throughout our expansion, as we buy and open new facilities, we've made it a focus. Particularly, as an example, we opened our Lakeland facility on over 30 acres, 15 acres outdoor usable space. and particularly with in mind to grow the RV and marine business. And as we continue to move into new locations, we have the same focus on outdoor space. So I would say the last 5 years specifically has been an extra emphasized focus, but we've always been in the RV business.
Okay, thank you. And another person asked, what is the average turnaround?
The average turn time right now is 42 days. So that's from getting a unit into a facility, getting a copy of the title in and the condition report done. And so a lot of that has to do just with timing, right? So if you bring a unit in right after one of our auctions, then it's got to wait longer till the next auction. But also a little bit of that has to do with conversion, right? Conversion's not 100%. So it's about 65, 70%. So that means you have a chance that it won't sell and we'll have to run it again in the next sale. So
Mm.
42 days is the average right now.
Okay, great. All right, another person is asking, can I also buy at NPA?
Great question. Yeah, for sure. We love to have buyers and sellers. Both of those dealers that sell through us, many buy as well, right? So a lot of product is specific to a dealer's market. Certain types of units do better in that region. And so we're a great source to buy. We about 50% of our business comes from institutional clients, uh, specifically bank repossessions, maybe manufacturer overstock, that type of thing. And so they're a great opportunity to buy a very clean product at a discount and get it into your channel. So yeah, absolutely, buy and sell. And our dealer registration team can get a dealership set up in 15, 20 minutes. It's very simple. And we're actually waiving our annual fee for that for the first time members for the first year as well. So it doesn't cost anything and it's very quick and easy to get on and see what we have going on.
Wow, that's great. So yeah, so free membership for our new RV dealers. That's great. Okay, I think the last one I have here is what makes MPA different from other auction companies?
That's a great question, Kathy, and I am super passionate about that. And the reason I came to MPA and I think love the product that we're putting out. When you come to an NPA facility, it's roughly 160,000 square feet of very clean indoor space, very clean and organized outdoor space. And you'll see motorcycles, golf carts, side by sides, slingshots, PWCs, boats, trailers, RVs, and it really is an adult toy store. And so we're achieving crossover bidding that's unbelievable, where folks come in and bid and buy on everything. And so we're attracting a much different buyer base, where many of our competitors are in the auction and the auto business, and they've got acres and acres of cars and one row of RVs or campers, and it's not their core business, where specialty product is our core business. And so super exciting. I think that's what sets us apart for sure. Along with lots of the other things like the condition reports and that we talked about as well. But love to have folks out to our facilities. I think everyone who comes will see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it really is something when you come to one of the warehouses. It's really overwhelming. Okay. Well, thank you, Matt. That was terrific. I know I'm certainly wiser when it comes to knowing when to wholesale a vehicle and why NPA is the source. Do you want to kind of wrap up with some of the conclusions from this presentation?
Yeah, sure. I think the questions pulled it out, and our discussions is it's been great that auctions should really be a part of any dealer's wholesale strategy. Not the only part, but a part, um, both for buying and selling, right? Don't hold on to inventory for too long. Understand the seasonal trends and use that data, right? Don't do it just by feel. Use the data, the forward data, the historical data, and you can really limit your risk and improve your margins. And then just in final, our information is on here. Like I said, I talk to dealers every week. Shannon as well. We love talking to dealers. We love sharing data. We love sharing examples. We love having them out to our facilities. We're at all the conferences. I know this presentation is for RVDA specific. We'll be at that conference as well. We'll be in Elkhart. Come talk to us and let us help you any way we can.
Okay, great. This concludes Maximize Profits with RV Auctions, and I hope everyone gained some new knowledge and insights on utilizing auctions wisely. We are so glad that you could join us today. You can find this webinar and on our NPA YouTube channel, as well as on our website, on our RV page. And thank you for watching.